Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Matt Murdock, and today we were talking about New York City. I had just recently gone to New York for a trip. It was really fun. I enjoyed it a lot. It's in a weird way. The atmosphere was great. I enjoyed going there and just having fun, kind of doing nothing. That's what I think is like the experience was really weird to the point where I didn't really do too much. I didn't really have too much to do. But I think it was just more so the fun aspect of just being there in general was really, really exciting. I went to like all the places I'd go, you know, Nintendo store, comic book shops, Rockefeller Center. I've always loved 30 Rock, and you know, Tina Fey is just a big inspiration to me as far as just comedy and just, you know, just funny people in general, John Mulaney, stuff like that. So that was one of those things that I very much liked to go and see. It was just, I mean, like, the place smelled like garbage half the time, but I think it's the concept of, I loved being there and just the scope of everything and everyone moving around and doing all this stuff. It's amazing. I loved it there. I can't wait to go back. It's one of those things where I really enjoyed it for a different reason. Like California, I enjoyed because it's very chill and very nice weather-wise, and it was cold and frigid that day I went to New York, and there was everyone everywhere, and it was all busy and hectic, and I even saw a fight break out. Well, not a fight breakout, but I saw a fight, and it was just a lot of fun. The fight was interesting. It was on the subway, and it was I guess to paint the picture of the fight. So there was a guy who didn't seem all too there, smoking a cigarette on the subway. Not supposed to do that. And a bunch of old people were like next to him, kind of complaining. And behind him on the subway was a black man who decided to stand up and start saying something. This guy smoking the cigarette kind of started going on a rant about being in prison or being the F word. I don't want to have to say the F word, but you know what I mean. He said something about being a tranny, or sorry, that's offensive, I guess. Being a transsexual, and I was like, okay, this is weird because he's just smoking a cigarette that has nothing to do with what you identify as. So it was weird because then the guy was like, oh, you know, you stop smoking a cigarette, and the guy put the cigarette out on the floor, and then like he started to be like, oh, well, I'm just gonna, you know, walk away from the situation and talk shit while I walk away. It's like, dude, you're in the wrong. You can't really sit there and talk shit. You're the one smoking the cigarette. The one guy was like trying to, you know, tell him to get off and off the train and you know, start a fight with him, and he was like talking about how he's been to prison or some shit. It was like a crazy person. The guy who was standing up for the guy smoking a cigarette and not taking that shit was kind of in the right and didn't seem, you know, too crazy. He said one of the best lines I've ever heard as an insult, which was at one point saying, hey man, or it was just a lot of back and forth. It's a lot of back and forth of saying they're going to do something and they never did it. Finally, the black man who was defending the subway and telling the guy not to smoke on there decided to tell him, I guess, a straight up fact, which was, man, you're wearing pajamas. And in my head I started giggling because, for one, I don't know if he was wearing pajamas. He could have been, you know, to each his own. But it wasn't really an insult, more so just stating a fact or stating something that was going on, which was probably the best part of that whole situation. That gem out of all the, you know, dropping the, you know, come fight me, and then eventually the guy just got fed up and went, man, you're wearing pajamas. That was probably the highlight of the situation. Like, they could have fought, and one of them could have like broke the other one's arm or something. I was still be like, yeah, but that one line where he said you're wearing pajamas, that was great. That was the funniest part about that fight. But yeah, that was the trip. Not in a nutshell, but my calves, not my calves, my shins were like tiring, walking everywhere. I loved it. It just reminded me of being back when I had to like run from place to place or get from place to place on without a license. It was just really fun to just go around and enjoy the place. It's like being in an attraction, or Florida, or when I go to Disney World, it's like that concept of like you have itinerary and you set out to do these things and plan out this whole thing, and it was just fun to go enjoy the whole atmosphere of what New York is, and I loved it. I have new ideas, new videos for the In My Opinions. I'll probably set those up very soon. You'll probably watch them next week. I do have a big one, and if you guys know the video game I normally post up here while I'm talking, had some big news, and I want to talk about that a lot. It'll probably be a really long In My Opinion if I can get it situated. So hopefully we can do that and just have a In My Opinion where it's a elaborate talk about this big news coming up for this game. If you guys have any suggestions, I've been trying to put out more of the just gaming videos. I have a lot in storage and trying to edit them all out. So I'll try to get all those situated for you guys, just so you're not just watching me complain about stuff or, praise stuff, whatever you consider the In My Opinions to be. So I'll try to set those up, and I'm trying to get In My Opinions done and over with, so that way we have videos that you can actually enjoy of content of me playing stuff, jokes, stuff like that. So yeah, so I'll try to crank out some videos for In My Opinion so that I have them situated, and then I have a bunch of Apex footage because I've been really getting into that right now. Me and a couple of guys went back into Dead by Daylight, Bones and AJ. So that one is a good one. I want to finish and edit, just so I can get that out there. That one was everyone was on their game that night. We did awful, but we were on their game as in hilarity. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Any comments or questions down below, just let me know, and I will see you guys next time. It's always fun to not only just go in and upgrade and get better over time, but the fact that they'll throw stuff at you that gets more challenging and you feel like it's just you, and it makes it all the more wild when you